Dhruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dhanavats devotees, of course, hope that your Kartik Maas is going very wonderfully and that you have nice absorption in your Seva. This morning I'm answering a question. There were a couple of questions that came in. I will get to the other questions probably over the course of some days, just that my schedule is a little bit tighter. So I'm just taking like one question at a time, and this was the first question of those that came in. And this question was about Visrambha Seva. So the word Visrambha means a sense of intimacy. And Rupa Goswami Pad is described in the 64 Angas of Bhakti. The first four things are Guru Padasraya, Tata Diksha, Shikshadi, and Vishrambhena Guru Seva. So obviously the first three elements of approaching Guru should be understood. Guru Pad Asraya means to see that as a jiva having sojourned through the material existence from time without any beginning, from Anadikal, Brahmana Brahmati Kona Bhagwan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Bhoi Bhakti Lata Bij. Very fortunately, Bhagavan and Bhagavan's Prakash, meaning Shri Guru, have bestowed their prasad, their mercy, by giving me shelter from the material existence and bringing me into the shade and shelter of the lotus feet of Guru, which are representative of the spiritual realm, or the spiritual energy. So this extreme mercy of Shri Guru and Krishna combined is the only way that the jiva can become extricated from the influence of avidya maya. I've explained many times in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 22:10, Anari avidya yuktasha purushasha vedatmanam svato na sambhavanti anya gyanatva ganado bhavet. You can look at this verse. It explains clearly svato na sambhavanti, that the jiva is unable to effectively extricate themselves from the influence of avidya and the abhinivesh, or the strict absorption that Maya puts on the chitta of the jiva. But only a person who is gyanatva, means realized person, means somebody imbued with the potency and the swatantrita shakti. Just like there's one verse that says, swatantrita bhagavat bhakta. Right? Swatantra Bhagavad Bhakta means the agency of the Lord in this world to help deliver jivas. The Lord himself does not personally give bhakti. Bhaktya sandhyatya bhakti, 11th canto Bhagavatam, it's clearly explained. So the persona of that Shakti of bhakti in this world is Shri Guru. I've also explained in explaining the nature of the five truths, which are the Panchatattva, that the Bhakti Shakti, Shri Gadadhar, is Srimati Radhika herself. She is the dispensation and the reservoir of bhakti. So from her, Srivas is the heart of the pure devotee, where Shri does Vas. Vas means to reside. So the energy of bhakti resides in the heart of a pure devotee, and that pure devotee has the Swatantrita Kripa, Swatantrita blessing of Bhagavan. It means the empowerment to independently, on behalf of Bhagavan, dispense bhakti. Right? In Madhurya Kandamini, these things are all explained fully. So, Guru Padashraya means to see oneself as very fortunate to get the shelter of the lotus feet of Shri Guru. Here, Pada indicates the opportunity for seva, because Bhajdatu Itti Sevayam, bhakti means service. So we don't have the facility to directly serve Radha and Krishna or Mahaprabhu. Atahashi Krishna Namadi Namavad Grayam Indriya. As long as the senses are imbued with the abhiman of being this body and are infused with material karmic energy, right? It does not have the ability to serve Bhagavan, because the service to Bhagavan has to be done with spiritual senses. So a subsidy is given by Shri Guru, when we take shelter of Guru, to infuse our senses with the energy called Krishna Seva Vasam, that desire or tendency to serve Krishna. And by the subsidy of Guru and Bhagavan, then our service has efficacy to gradually purify the jiva and eventually produce fully, just like an iron in fire, as the example is given, produce a fully imbued spiritual senses and spiritual body, right? And of course, when you give up this body, then you'll accept the body which is actually spiritual substance itself, Vastu-siddhi, right? So Guru Pada Shraya, this pad means seva, and Ashraya means having found shelter there. Then it says Diksha and Shiksha. So I've explained Diksha before. Jiva Goswami has explained it's two things, Dhyate Param Gyanam Chiyate Papanasanam. And that Diksha means, in terms of Divya Gyan, or the dispensing of transcendental knowledge, Divya Gyanam Hyatra Shimati Mantre Bhagavat Surup Gyanam Tenam Bhagavat Sambandha Visesh. So knowledge of the particular form of Bhagavan that is your worshipable objective, and the particular mode of service and relationship you have with Bhagavan in a seed form are present in the Diksha mantra. Now it says Diksha Shiksha. Without receiving Siksha of the mantra, it's not possible to understand the Rahasya or the Dhyan. Rahasya means the mystery of the mantra, and Dhyan means the meditation to be incorporated during the chanting of the mantra. So you have to receive Siksha of that. If you receive the Diksha mantra and at the time your Diksha Guru was unable to, by circumstance of some sort, to give enlightenment on those elements of the mantra, then by Siksha Guru, one has to hear that revelation, because then the actual efficacy of the mantra becomes expedited. Of course, we could look at the idea that the mantra, like Harinam itself, is imbued with Shakti. And therefore, just like taking a medicine, whether you know its components or not, it will have some effect, right? But if you are unaware of how to take the medicine, so forth and so on, and you do the wrong dosage, or you do inadequate combinations with the medicine you're taking, its efficacy will be slowed or checked. So in order to create the highest form of efficacy of the mantras, then it's important to have Siksha, or have instructions on how to properly execute the mantra. So Diksha Shiksha. The point of my discussion today is, though, on the next section, which Srila Rupa Goswami is described as Visrambha Guru Seva. So the word Visrambha, I've already explained, means a sense of intimacy. So sometimes this is a very contradictory concept in a guru-disciple relationship, because our experience, for the most part, both in reading, in actual practical experience, is that the relationship with guru and disciple is one of the disciple has towards the Lord himself, because Sakshat Haritva, Guru is Sakshat Haritva, he's the direct representation of Bhagavan. So much on reverence dominates the relationship between guru and disciple, right? If anybody is reflecting on their relationship that they've had over the course of time, everyone is different, so I'm obviously not speaking to every single person. I'm speaking in a general sense. Most people have had such a relationship of Gurudev, oh Gurudev, Gurudev, right? Very much imbued with Aishwarya and so much on reverence, right? But even Krishna himself, in the form of Mahaprabhu, is given an expression, Aishwarya Gyanite Sakala Jagatira Mor Misrit, Aishwarya Shaitila Prem Nahi Mor Preet. That prem, by its very nature, seeks out the fullness of the ability to give heart-to-heart expression in the fullest way. And we see that in Brajadam, for instance, The love of Brijabasis is celebrated by everyone because it is imbued with Visrambha and it lacks awe and reverence or Aishwarya. So this lesson of the glory of the Brijabasis' love has application here in Guru-disciple relationship. If the disciple has so much awe and reverence for Guru, right? Because in Braj, just to elucidate this a little more, unpack it a little more, in Braj, it's not that there is no Aishwarya. Brajadam is the highest form of Aishwarya. It is the highest abode of Dham of the Lord. But the Aishwarya has been covered by Madhurya or sweetness. So in the same way, it's not contradictory to have Visrambha or intimate feeling towards Sri Gurudev, appropriate intimate feeling towards Sri Gurudev, and at the same time have the foundation of the Aishwarya of my Gurudev's Sakshatva being a representative of Bhagavan. Right? They're not contradictory. Rather, they're complementary. Understanding the glory of my Gurudev, Sarvadeva, my own Guru, that my Gurudev is the sum total of holy demigods. Right? That my Gurudev, especially Shaksharitwa, he's Mukunda Presta, very dear to Lord Mukunda. Right? So all of these different understandings aren't dissipated or aren't evaporated because the nature of the love of the disciple for Sri Guru grows to the point where Guru and disciple can now have Visrambha. Visrambha is an activity of the heart. It's not an activity of the mind or an activity of the body. In seeing my Guru Pada Padma, will I do Dandavat Pranam? Oh, most certainly. Right? It's not contradictory that I'm doing Dandavat Pranam, realizing the glory of my Gurudev, and at the same time have such heartfelt desire for intimate service to Gurudev. An intimate service, Visrambha Seva, doesn't always equal physical Seva, right? Because it may not be that I have the ability to always be in the direct association of Sri Guru. So Visrambha Seva is a mood of the heart. If you have, quote, in the material world, I've already explained this in other presentations, that in the material world, in the material world is not real love. Right? I'm going to come to a point about Guru shortly on this, which is really important. But in the material world is not real love. But even the semblance of what we do experience here, between husband and wife, for instance, if the husband will travel or the wife will travel, or your children will go away to summer camp, it doesn't mean that somehow or another, in the absence of being able to directly cook and clean and serve and so forth, that your love has diminished. Rather, the popular saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder, would be applicable. That actually our love increases to some degree in the absence directly of that person that we have affection for. So, in relation to Sri Guru, even when there's not possibility of direct seva in the form of cooking for Gurudev or doing other services for Gurudev, right? The affection of the heart should grow even more intense. And then upon seeing Gurudev, then there should be an ulas, means a happiness generated. Oh, Gurudev, after so long, I'm seeing you. But now in seeing you, I don't want to simply just offer so many Dandavat Pranams. Oh, Gurudev, oh, Gurudev, oh, Gurudev. I want to offer one sincere Dandavat Pranam from the depth of my heart. And then sitting with my Sri Gurudev, allow his heart to give all of the love and affection that he has for me, right? Or she has for me, depending on your Guru situation, right? To let that flow. We don't want to choke off Gurudev's heart flowing love and affection for us by putting up the blockade of Aishwarya or so much distance. Oh, I'm the lowly disciple. My Guru is so great. That's already a given fact. Now I'm thinking how much, in spite of my Gurudev being Sakshadaritva, the direct representative of Bhagavan, he has descended to this world and has shown infinite kindness, mercy, and love to me by bringing me into his association and revealing the depth of his heart in giving me the Bhakti Shakti in the form of his Harikatha, his agya of seva, meaning his order to do a certain service, meaning the ability to hear his harikatha with great attention and try to digest. This is real Bhagavat, Guru Seva. It's also Bhagavat Seva. Because Sri Guru is the persona of Bhagavat Shakti for the Jiva. It is the first experience of a heart connection with God in this world for the Jiva is the contact with Sri Guru. May not have had darshan of Bhagavan, Sri Radhakrishna Yugal, or darshan of Bhagavan in the form of Gaura Nityananda Prabhu or Gaur Gadadhar. But my Guru Pada Padma, in his Acharya Lila, has manifested a rupa form, everything, and has come into this world, and I've had direct contact. Because my Guru Dev has taken a root within this material world, does not mean he's material. So, but it is a facility, just like the Acha Vigraha is a facility of service. Sri Radhakrishna, Gaur Gadadhar, Gaur Nityananda, Jagannath Baldeshwar, they are directly present there. They are directly present there. And only my perception will grow and realize that. In the same way, my Guru Pada Padma is also directly spiritual substance. And in the course of my growth and my maturation, I will see that. That's why in Guru Ashtakam we're singing Nikunjayuno Rati Keli Siddhai Yagyali Viryuktira Pekshani. Right? My Guru Dev is Nikunja Seva Siddha. My Guru Dev is Ini Manjari Radhadasi. Right? And has appeared in this world out of their causeless mercy in the extension of Gaur Lila in order to save jivas. And I was so fortunate that somehow or another I came to the shelter of the lotus feet of Shri Guru. So now I want to have for the first time any real love. So this was the point that I was making a little earlier. So for the first time the jiva will experience real love. Transcendental love, that kind of love which is not broken. Sabata dongsha rahitam yarapi dongsha karane yad bhava bandhano prema parikirtita. So the Sri Guru disciple relationship is that kind of love. That kind of love which is transcendent, which can't be broken. Even when there's a cause for it to break, it does not break. Rather, bhava bandhano, it makes the love even stronger. Right? Real Guru disciple relationship is like this. So there are many nuances to this, and I don't want it to be couched as something that gets misunderstood. So I'm speaking in general sense here, what should be, right? So the disciple for the first time now experiences real love. What is real love? And on the basis of that, then Sri Guru and the disciple's heart both blossom in that love. It is in that love that the exchange of the Swarup Shakti imbued Harikatha, association, prasanga, santam, satta, prasanga, mama virya samvido, right? It's that prasanga that takes place in that environment. It is called Visrambha Guru Seva. You understand? So this Visrambha Seva is an important element, and it is the goal of the Guru-disciple relationship. So with all of the Aishwarya of the power and potency of my Guru Dev being Saksharari Dvena Samashta Shastriya, right? With all of that, just like in Brajadam, all Aishwarya is there, more than Vaikuntha, but it is all covered by the amazing sweetness of Braj. In the same way, the relationship with Guru should be seen. My Guru Dev is the epitome of all of Bhagavan's power, right? At the same time, all is covered by the sweetness of his mood of Karun Shakti, Kripa Shakti towards the Jiva. I may be that fortunate Jiva. That's how every disciple should think. Gurudev could have thousands of disciples, but every disciple would think, oh, I'm the Kripa Patra of my Gurudev. You understand? And Gurudev will make the disciple feel like that. Right? So, this Visrambha mood is very, very important. And as a practical thing, we have to, in our own maturation process, understand, realize that, and act on that platform. If Sri Guru, I'm speaking in my own case, because I cannot speak to every single case. But my Guru Padma from the first day, not first day I met Srila Gurudev was 1986, and I was not sort of prepared in a sense there wasn't this kind of discussion would not have been going on in my mind or heart, right? So only amazement and wonder at the high quality of Vaishnavata of seeing Srila Gurudev at that time. But later on, in meeting Srila Gurudev again in 1996, right, and then obviously having his shelter and so forth and so on, at that time, from that very beginning, Srila Gurudev always emphasized the sense of coming close, being Visrambha. Srila Gurudev I remember the first day I went one day to talk to Srila Gurudev, and I was standing at the door with my hands like this, and Gurudev said, "Come here." And so I went a little bit closer with the same thing. And then, I got close enough to Gurudev's bed. He was laying down, that I kneeled down. And Gurudev told me to come closer. And when I came closer, Gurudev rubbed my head and put his arm around me. And it was to break that sense of maryada. Because I'm coming to ask a question. So don't block everything with maryada. Because a lot of the maryada has grown from the fear, will Gurudev see my heart and all contamination in my heart? Gurudev can see whether you try to block it or not. Right? So, better to be open. Right? It doesn't mean be void of etiquette. If I see my Guru Padma, I should pay my Dandavat Pranam. Right? And I should ask my Gurudev's permission, "Oh, Gurudev, I have one question." And Gurudev, "Yes, come." Right? And then Gurudev, by his causeless mercy, will open the channels of the heart by his affection. Right? And when doing that, then the flow of bhakti and bhakti rasa can take place. And then that flow of bhakti rasa is what is in incremental stages according to the spiritual health of the disciple, the taste which replaces jad rasa in this material world. Raso vrajam rasopiyasya param drisanavartate. That superior taste is coming from the flow of the pure, transcendent, praying-filled kata coming from Sri Guru. And as the disciple becomes more mature due to sincere practice of bhakti, then their ability to taste, just like in Upadeshamrita is described, when jaundice is present, one's taste is always everything is bitter. Even the sweetest thing like rock candy tastes bitter. But by practicing day by day, gradually one's spiritual health comes about. And at that time, when you hear the Hari Katha of Sri Gurudev, it becomes very pleasing to the ear, but it also becomes very pleasing to the heart. Because the heart now is blossoming and unfolding. So we want this Visrambha relationship with Sri Gurudev. This is the most important thing. We also cannot artificially create Visrambha by mundane familiarity. So it's not that Visrambha Seva means let me jump into every photo op, let me always be around Gurudev and have the status of being like, I'm always with Gurudev, I'm always with Gurudev. Let me not ask, irrelevant questions to Sri Gurudev just to get known, right? It should be organic and it should be real and sincere. That's the point, right? I remember with my Guru Padma, I tried to always ask genuine questions of something to unfold myself further in understanding. I didn't want to put out queries just to get noticed. I tried to avoid that, but I did try to hear very carefully everyone else's questions and Gurudev's answers. That was also doing Visrambha Seva, because it was honoring Sri Gurudev's Hari Katha in the form of questions and answers, right? Because the nature of relationship with Guru is Pariprishna, relevant inquiries. Jigyasho Shreya Uttamam, relevant inquiries. I've also seen my Gurudev dismiss irrelevant inquiries. I joined 2 weeks ago, Gurudev, please tell me what kind of swarup I have. Right? And my Gurudev, I never knew. Devotees say he said goopy swarup. But it sounded to me like he said goofy swarup. Which either way, whether he said goofy swarup or goopy swarup, it was appropriate, humorous shutdown of an irrelevant question, right? So this also is Visrambha, the ability to see the charm and sweetness and the humor of Srila Gurudev's Naravat Acharya Leela, right? Is also very wonderful. I remember many times of seeing Gurudev joking, smiling. So this is also the way that the heart of the disciple and Sri Guru become bound in affection. We should not think only the sweetness of Leela takes place within my family dynamic or my friendship dynamics, etc. Right? Real love and affection takes place on all levels with Sri Guru. So hopefully, Prabhu and Didi, this was a answer to your question. I didn't read the question, actually. I probably should have read the question. Now my phone is, I have to track it down again. But the question was, basically paraphrasing, was about the nature of how to relate to Guru in intimacy. I don't know if I stated the question in the front or not, but that was the gist of the question, right? Is there some kind of dichotomy between serving Guru, understanding the position of Guru, and at the same time, what Rupa Goswami Pad is saying in terms of Visrambha Guru Seva, means a mood of serving Gurudev with intimacy. Now, sometimes you may find that if a person may be for any reason doing the service of Guru, they may not have fully realized their bhajan. This is a whole nother discussion, right? Because it may be, as Rupa Goswami Pad has also mentioned, Shastra Yukti Shuni Punya Dvirashwara Yandra Uttamadikari Se Tare Sangsar. A person who is Uttamadikar in their eligibility for the practice of sadhan bhakti. It means someone who has understood Shastra, understood the logic and the meanings of Shastra, and their own faith in their Guru Parapadma, Guru Vargas, and in Sri Bhagavan is dridha, it's fixed. Right? It's determined, fixed faith. Uttamadikari say they have Uttamadikar in their eligibility of practice. And therefore, Tare Sangsar, they can help others to traverse the Sangsar, means the material life. Right? But I think I've mentioned in previous tapes, the caveat here will be they have to be void of Guru Abhiman. Because Guru Abhiman is not present in the realized pure Vaishnava. Because their Abhiman is, I am the Palya Dasya Radhika, I am the sucker of Krishna. They have the Abhiman of their true self spiritual identity. Right? So they don't have any false Abhimans born from false ego. The only way to acquire an artificial Abhiman, I am a scholar, I'm a great Kirtaniya, I am a guru, I am this, I am that, right? I'm a great pujari, right? Etc. The only way to acquire that Abhiman is you need the facility to house it. That facility is called ahamkara. You understand? If there is no hamkara present, right? Then there's no housing for all of these other Abhimans. Right? The only Abhiman one can possess in order to facilitate helping others on the path of bhakti in terms of giving the shelter of Guru is if they have no Guru Abhiman and they have only the Abhiman, I am the Palya Dasya Shrimati Radhika, I am the Sakha of Sri Krishna, and in their Sambandha Gyan that they've heard from their own Guru Parapadma, they have Dhrita Shraddha in that, and they operate on that basis. Because the taste inherent in mature bhajan is such, it will not allow other kinds of artificial taste to come in. If your bhajan has not become so mature, then the artificiality of the taste, I've described it before, it's like artificial sweeteners, right? They're chemical based and you put them in something and they imitate the taste of sweetness. But they're not actually a sweetener born from a natural, real thing. They're artificial. So similarly, if the presentation of taste based on Guru Abhiman is prominent, I have so many disciples, you can be my disciple, etc. Even though it may not appear that gross, right? But if inwardly, and honesty has to be there, because everything in bhakti is based on sincerity and honesty. If that mood is there, that I'm tasting the idea, I am Guru, this is my disciple, etc. It is symptomatic that the taste in bhakti has not reached a mature enough level to displace that. Because if someone is tasting bhakti, then that taste is very dominant, and it really does not accommodate other kinds of artificial sweeteners, so to speak. In fact, a great fear arises in the heart of a practitioner. I don't want to lose the intensification of this taste in bhakti. So for some, they may say, oh, for this reason, I don't want to take any disciple. You understand? On the other hand, it may be also seen that if there is a need, either because someone has deposited their faith in you, and this is a very important thing, because faith is not a commodity to be traded on the market. If someone has developed Shraddha in you, if there's a same Pati Bhakta present, same Pati Bhakta means like Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, so many, right, who have manifested in the Vaishnava Mandal and are capable of accepting the full faith of thousands and thousands of people, that is a very unique and rare thing. Outside of that, most persons come to bhakti, their repository of faith is that person in whom they grew to understand what is bhakti from. So as their faith in that person becomes stronger, its value to their growth in bhakti becomes very, very important. So you cannot trade that commodity. You can't trade that faith like a commodity. You have to accept some responsibility for being the holder of that faith and passing it in Guru Parampara to the lotus feet of Shri Bhagavan. So you're being only entrusted, like a mailman is entrusted, right, to pass the faith deposited towards Bhagavan. The deposit is made with you. But now you have to carry out sending that deposit of faith up Parampara to Shri Lotus Feet of Shri Bhagavan. If you have any compassion, if you think my Gurudev was so kind to me, because if you start calculating, because this person is so pure, this person, and you make many calculations, then Guru Abhiman will come. Because then you'll start considering, am I qualified, am I not qualified? And this, that, etc., etc. At what point will you acknowledge, oh yeah, I'm very qualified? The more that bhakti unfolds in your heart, the less qualified you feel. So there'll never be a point of acknowledgement of a state of qualification. So the seva to Guru Parampara and your Guru Parapadma, what they've given in your patra, to be available, if you yourself are practicing it, right, to be available, even in your unfoldment. There still may be elements of your unfoldment, but being available, that those who have reposed faith in you, based on your service to Sri Guru, in your Harikatha Seva, in your answering questions, whatever it might be, right? Be available for holding that person's faith. And once you make the commitment to holding that person's faith, it becomes a relationship of love. It is not a relationship of guru and disciples. The relationship is based on love. So now I've entered into a relationship of love with this person or that person, right? I've not entered into a designation, guru and disciple. I've entered into a relationship, and that relationship is a relationship of love. Right? So I have services to do. So I will end things here. Prabhu and Didi, hopefully this was very helpful. And if not, again, you can always write to me and we can further discuss. I my Dandavat Pranam Vancha Kalpaturvishcha Kripashindavevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Rita Gadara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Radhe Radhe.